his crew, Timmy, Courtney and Ben, have been working overtime to try and get this boat dialed in. So we'll wait and see what comes of this one. Simon Troy, fierce competitor, boat number 88. The white DAC with the red canopy. Main line Dynalog, major sponsor of 888 Motorsport. Shire Steel, Aquatic Power, Cobon Material Solutions, Blue Pacific Marine, Go Boating, Sports Film, and Pertec. We call him the Iceman because he's incredibly calm under pressure, relentless in his pursuit if you're in front of him. And he can make that boat about 45 feet wide if you're the man chasing him. Matty Smith was lightning fast off the dock with the Optimax yesterday. It sort of surprised me a little bit. We've talked about that before. So the numbers board on the boat will dictate the engine. So if you're over here in the commentary team, you will see the orange board, meaning they're running the Mercury Optimax, the yellow board, meaning you're running the 2.5 carby. Traditionally, the carby will get the better jump at the start. All right, so eyes towards the yellow boat out in the middle of the course. This is our start boat. They will raise two flags in the air. One flag will slowly lower. Drivers will turn the ignitions on. Fuel pump systems on, and the moment that second flag drops, slam that start button and launch. One flag down, here we go. So he'll have to drop into the back of the pack or receive a lap penalty. Matt Smith, the Optimax, as expected, getting down, but I'll tell you what, Lucas Oils, they're quick out of the box. I think the Kiwi will get around first. No, out wide, who is that? Reece Coles with a belting start. You've got Reece Coles, Simon Troy, Lucas Oils. There's nothing between them, so they charge down here to turn number 4, and the first time onto the Project Red Wing straight. It's Reece Coles, ladies and gentlemen. He's come out of a wide pole. He's got left front. He's got Simon Troy on the inside, and you would be there in TBR. So from wide poles, these guys have made a cracking start. Let's watch them through, and I can't pick up on the ramp. I've gone blind in the commentary box. Who pops out in front? Reece Coles, Butler Vehicles, boat number 1. Just been behind him, it's Ewan Bricker in TBR Racing and Simon Troy. This boat is back on pace. Look at the drag race. This is the Bricker Pipelines back straight into turn number 3. Coles is through clean. There's pressure between the Iceman in at mainline Dynalog. A little bit slow that time. Out with Simon Troy, so Ewan Bricker now sets his sights, eyes forward. Now, so the engine's sounding strong, but the rooster tail looks to me like he's got a little bit of cavitation or a little bit too much prop slip right now. Matt Smith settles in the SFR, Smith Family Racing Machine, that Babber into the Bricker Pipelines back straight, looking very, very nice. Here's Smithy. Look at the closing speed in the back straight. The yellow boat coming up onto turn 3 right now. Watch him through this corner. Runs a nice wide line, keeps his mid-corner speed. That's very good. To settle in. This race 8 minutes plus 1 lap. The Butler Vehicles Machine, Reece Coles, the reigning Australian Formula GP champion. He's got clear water in front of him. So trying to settle it down now. Get the heart rate down. A lot of experience behind the wheel because he has got the stars and stripes of TBR. To see from that crew. There's Simon, the Iceman Troy, settles in. So Bricker and Reece Coles coming out of pole 5 and 6. So that wide line through that first sequence of corners obviously paying dividends. Able to get out and their mid-corner speed staying high and really the drop on the field and come over and take their line. 3 boat lengths is all you require before you come across. In front of the crew, Nicole's wide line, Bricker. Much more aggressive through that corner, so grabs a boat length out of Reese that time through. So you can see the different lines. Chilvers like a lightning bolt through turn number 4 into the project roofing, start finish straight. Matt Smith, now where is Lucas Oils? Lucas Oils is at the top end of the course and they are off, so they are done. Lucas Oils pulling to the outside of the course, so that is a bit of heartbreak for Team New Zealand. 4 minutes down, 4 racing minutes to go. The delta between 1 and 2, so a bit of a gap forming now. Simon Troy's got a buffer to Andrew Tour behind him. So he's finished to settle in with Ewan Brecker. This is a long series. 3 races per weekend, qualifying and 4 rounds right across Australia. The Ewan Brecker of old would have thrown it all at this one and he'd be upside down, but this kid has taken on a whole new mindset with some tutoring from Father Gavin Bricker. And looking very, very comfortable out there right now is our 2 lead boats. Water conditions absolutely perfect right now. Super fast times out of yesterday, and some of the boat speeds, talking to the drivers, were phenomenal. Through from Team New Zealand actually that Nick Coles has lost steering in the boat. So his power steering system letting him down. Again, the problem is not what you want, but that's probably a better problem to have than an engine failure. So steering is the issue for Team NZ. Remembering these guys only had 3 days to put this boat together after receiving it from New Zealand in the container. So a couple of little niggles, they will iron that out for later on today when we go to the big final. Head of the field, into the project roofing, start, finish straight. Reece Coles on the vehicles. The all-blue DAC. Keeping Ewan Brecker, the young gun from Langwarrin, Victoria, at bay right now. The main line, a Dynalog machine of Simon Troy. Looking very, very nice indeed. Let's get your eyes on Matt Smith now, that yellow and blue Baba. This boat, absolutely beautiful, imported from England for the final round last year. First time out with the Optimax. And Matt just slowly coming to terms with a huge amount of experience with Smithy. He's the oldest driver in the field. He's done it all before, but watch this boat through his back straight. Back and pipeline straight. The speed at the back end of the straight. That is no doubt the quickest boat out there on the water right now. Look at the Baba as it rips into turn number 3. Settles it down. Very, very nice to see some outright pace in this machine as he comes to terms with his brand new baby. Big shout out to the Smith family race crew. They've done a massive amount of work to get this boat on the water. But the vehicles now, Reece extending his lead. So just looking at some lap times on these front runners, and they are within a couple of tenths of a lap every lap. So some true consistency up there. A little bit of a moment with the race. Just manage that beautifully. Open the wheel a little bit, let the boat settle. Chilvers, a very aggressive line into the project roofing front straight. So trying everything to make up some ground on the man in front, but the clock's ticking down. We've only got 40 seconds of race time plus a lap to go. So Chilvers really pushing on hard now, but I think it's probably a little bit too big a mountain to climb. Now remembering here that jump start. Simon Troy's off the pace. The mainline Dynalog machine slowing in turn number 4. That is heartbreak for the Iceman. Canopy lid pops, so he's okay on board, but he's just had to, and that is heartbreak because we're going to see blue flag. He had less than 1 lap to go to get the points in this one. This is completely out of character for this team. They work so hard on preparation. Yellow flag. No. John Thomas, have you got radio kills? Yellow flag flying. So it should be checkered flag next time through for Reece Coles, ladies and gents. Smithy with one more to go. So he came from the wide pole, ladies and gents, the Butler vehicle. Gives to Reece Coles. He came out of 5. The checkered flag in the hand on the dot. Put your hands together, Robbie. Right, number 1. With a very, very strong result. Ewan Brigger. TBR buzzes the tower on the way through. And Andrew Silver coming home with a bag of points in 3rd spot. Smith Family Racing, boat number 65. Gee whiz, I like the look of this boat. The early signs are very, very promising for Smithy. Obviously the Smith family have 2 of these babbers now, so their development will accelerate when Joel Smith gets his boat on the water. But a very, very strong run from our wide pole boats there. Reece Coles, Ewan Brigger, Andrew Chilver. Heartbreak for Team New Zealand and Lucas Oils. Nick Coles losing steering in the latter part of the course. So this boat's running a power-assisted steering system. And depending on what setup you're running on some of these boats, that if your power steering system fails, it's near on impossible to turn the wheel. So word in from the Australian referee that Andrew Chilver has been issued with a 1-lap penalty for jumping the start. So that will take him from his 3rd spot to rear of field. So that means Matty Smith once again. Smith Family Racing up on the podium. So with 2 retirements and a penalty to Middy's Electrical, that is a 2nd bag of points for the oldest man in the field, and a hell of a nice guy. He's one of the best life guys in the paddock, I can assure you. He's Mr. Matt Smith. Championship trophy. And a bit of heartbreak as we see the pilot of Mainline Dynalog, Simon Troy, standing on the deck of a beautiful race boat. Give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Simon Troy, he works super hard. He's involved at every level in this sport, on the committee, and mate, yeah, the head's down a little bit. He'll be pretty heartbroken with that, with a lap to go. But hey, to finish first few months finished, and if I know the crew at Triple Eight, they will be working overtime to get that boat ready to rob for the big final this afternoon. So a couple of boats to bring in, but if you are new to Formula Powerboat Racing, what are we talking about? Well, why do we call our drivers pilots? Well, let's take you through some of the science. Here's the start. There's nothing between all 3 of them. I reckon Carl and Bailey on the outside got a little bit of drop. You can see the rooster tail, so a very different trim angle. So the engine trim much higher, getting the boat down flatter now, so he's got a little bit, maybe a boat length advantage, but he's got to go the long way round. So Max Cook needs to take a breath now and get this first corner right. He's got right of way. All boats must leave a lane for the boat beside him. Cook's through clean. So he's going to have the advantage here. Needs to lift the nose of the boat now. Carlin Bailey's very quick out wide, but he's got to go the long way. Have a look at this. Straight into the spectator fleet. And there is nothing between them. Lockie right in the middle. Over trimmed a little bit. Starting to porpoise, so loses a bit of boat speed. Carlin Bailey shuts the door, so comes across. Sorely officials look at that one, but there's plenty of room. Maxie Cook does not flinch, comes through, so the Queen Bee, the top end boat speed, you can see the way he's hanging this boat up there, is absolutely flying. So pretty aggressive move into turn number 4 for the first time by Bailey, but I'm not the judge and officials, I think it was pretty good. 3 boat lengths is the rule, but these are only very small boats, so I tell you what, didn't upset Max's run at all, but Lockie Bride coming out of pole number 2, he'll be a bit surprised he's been pushed back to the 3rd spot. the boat porpoising a little bit. So when I say that, just bouncing its nose up and down, so losing a little bit of its air cushion and potentially costing him some top speed, but settling it down now nicely in the back straight. Bailey is through very, very clean. Now have a look at the different lines now. Now remember, there is no horsepower advantage, so these 60 AFIs, what they're trying to do is not waste any of the available horsepower. So you can see there, Carlin just skates the boat through. Much more aggressive from Max Cook. Settles the nose of the boat down and turns it a little bit harder. Lockie Bride running a similar line. So at the moment, Carlin Bailey's line, so that slow drift through the corner, is translating into boat speed. One of the things that's available as an option to change on these boats, of course, is the engine height up to a minimum height and the propeller choice. So a propeller for one of these race boats will cost you somewhere around $750. So they're a very highly engineered piece of stainless steel that is razor sharp and is designed purely to push these boats to these speeds. How fast are they going out there right now? Remember, this is a 60 horsepower four-stroke. If you had one of these on your Quintrex at home, you're probably doing about 40 kilometres an hour, 45. These guys are running at about 125, 130 kilometres an hour at the end of a straight. So 75 miles an hour out of these boats, 60 miles an hour being 100 k's. So these guys are pushing well over 100 kilometres an hour with a 60 horsepower four-stroke engine. Now, prop selection is critical. As I said, we're racing on salt water here. To understand it, if you're not a boat racer, if I said to you when you leave today and you've got a manual car, just pick one gear that you have to drive all the way home in. You could pick first gear, it'd be really easy to start at the lights, but when you get to the freeway, your top end speed is going to be terrible. You pick the fifth gear, it's going to have great top end speed, but do you stall it at the lights? That's what we're talking about. You've got to find the propeller that gives you the balance between the best top speed and your ability to accelerate out of a corner. If you go too high, potentially you've got a great top end speed, but you never get there because you lose too much energy in and out of the corners. So it is a dark art, and you'll notice a lot of the boats, particularly the Formula GPs, as they come to the boat ramp, they'll have a rag hanging over the propeller at the back so no one else can see what kind of prop they're running. So it's a bit of a secret science amongst race teams. But Carlin Bailey, the oldest man in the field at 18 years of age. Well, nearly 19, I think, is Carlin Bailey. He's looking very, very good out in front. Got his father, Craig Bailey, on the cans out there at the end of the jetty, the man in the blue shirt. Can't see because there's a boat on the boat ramp, but Lockie Bride has now made his way through. So word through is Maxi Cook has had a little bit of a hook in the back straight. So yeah, he's got that wrong. So come in, and in that second part of the top end corner, he's actually come unstuck. So the boat hooking hard left, losing all its momentum, and that's a thank you very much for Lockie Bride. So he's now moved past Max Cook and is heading on towards Carlin Bailey. So that wind building a little bit now, but gee, Carlin Bailey looks nice through there. He's really got this boat dialed in. Father Craig Bailey obviously crewing on the international Formula One circuit with Marit Stromoy. One of Australia's greatest powerboat racers himself is Craig, and watching his young man do a stellar job right now. Lockie Bride looks very nice in the Phantom. Yeah, Max Cook, unfortunately, turning that boat a little bit, overturning that boat last time through. He's got it through nicely this time in turn number one, I should say, into turn two. Opens the wheel a little bit. So a little bit of a chop building in the back part, so that will help these boats with their top end speed. Clock ticking down. This is 8 minutes plus 1 lap with 4 minutes to run. But Carlin Bailey has this race comfortably in hand. Just needs to take a deep breath, settle the heart rate down, not do anything too dramatic. Loses the front of the boat a little bit on the way through that time. You can see him had 2 bites at the cherry, so he's trying to just keep a nice steady arc. Lockie Bride in the Phantom, now carrying a lot more nose of the boat through. Max Cook still running hard and fast into those corners. Boats have a minimum weight, which includes the driver, and there's a set of scales over here in pit lane, so you are pulled out and the boat is weighed. Obviously, some of these boats are slightly heavier than others. And depending on conditions, if it's a really rough day, you actually want a little bit more weight in the boat to try and keep the boat in the water and a little bit easier to drive. On a light air day like today, you really want to be at the absolute minimum weight. Bailey, very, very nice. Through the Bricker pipelines back straight. That little headwind, you can see these little F4s. That is about centimetre perfect from Carlin Bailey right now. No porpoise in the sponsons, the boat just hanging. Not moving at all, as is Lockie Bride. So watch him through turn number 4 now. Just slides the boat through nicely, so not losing any of his mid-corner speed. Oh, Maxi Cook pushing on. Oh, he's grown a set of horns, so he's decided he wants to push up on the back of them. You can see the difference when they're right on the ragged edge. That little bit of extra wind just as he come into turn 4. The boat picking right up and going full airborne on the way into the corner. So I mentioned earlier, these guys will not be lifting their foot off the throttle pretty much all the way around this course. They'll be 100% throttle down, which takes a lot of courage, and it takes a little bit of time to get used to that idea of just not slowing down into a corner. As the nose of the boat comes down with trim, so buttons on the wheel to put the nose down or up, as the extra friction builds on the water surface, that's what blows the boat speed off. So watch Carlin this time through. Very nice there. Max he's really struggling in the exit of that corner. You can see him there overturning that time. So just playing with his trim angles. Got the nose of the boat completely hung in the air right now. Watch him into turn number 3. So that's a much better corner that time through from the maxed out machine. Clock ticks down, I wouldn't be surprised. 1 minute 10 seconds to go. Now these guys, it was Carlin Bailey was the only man to run a sub-minute lap yesterday. 59.8 I think was his qualifying time. Max Cook, second fastest qualifier, running a 1 minute flat, but Lockie Bride has found a little bit of pace I think in this boat from yesterday in the Phantom. But right now Carlin Bailey, he was very strong yesterday as we saw. Fastest qualifier by 0.8 of a second I think was the overall number, and it's translating to a really good result on the water. Left sponson just tickling a little bit on the way into the corner. The Phantom is through nicely. See, there's none of that boat in the water. The gearbox, the propellers run basically at the surface of the water. Max Cook now, he's driving this boat like an F1. You can see the little chop of the boats in front of him. None of the boat in the water. Mum Michelle down there is part of his crew. Dad Martin out on the dock. Darren Bryan overseeing the radio comms with his son Lockie. Josie Shaw, his mum, down there I think on video duty. Yep, Josie's out there just running the live stream back to all his mates and friends in Victoria. Yellow flag this time through for Carlin Bailey. So yellow flag flies high for boat number 321. Little bit untidy that time through for Carlin Bailey. Couple of rollers actually, that's what it is, coming across the course. You can see when conditions are this flat, you can see there's the cross wash of a boat. Let's see the cruiser out the back has actually put a little bit of a wake through the course, and the boats are just picking it up as they come through turn number 1. Last time through the Bricker pipelines back straight for Carlin Bailey. Boat number 321, the Queen Bee. Tracy Pugsley will be looking on. Very, very impressed with this young hard charger. Janelle Bailey, mum of Carlin, she's often here as well with us this weekend, but she'll be really pleased. Put your hands together for him, ladies and gentlemen. That was a faultless drive from pole number 3. Checkered flag. Carlin Bailey in a second spot and a nice drive home. And a big bag of points is Lockie Bride in the Phantom. And with a couple of uncharacteristic errors, he's cost himself a spot, but he's home safe and sound and driving strongly. Maxi Cook in the maxed out. It's very hard to judge where you are left and right. The boats will drift left and right as they get up and moving. Drive straight towards the opposite side of the bank. Eyes in the mirrors. Where is everybody around you? And then make your turn. You must leave a boat's width for the boat on your inside lane is the theory. But at over 100 miles an hour, that's easier said than done. All right, call is through. 2 flags on the start boat. The green flag will slowly lower. He's away beautifully out of pole number 3. He's got the advantage of Paul Saint having to back off. He jumped that start. Now let's have a look at him into turn 1. Paul Whitten, the SST 120, the smaller engine. He's through nicely on the inside. They are all through clean. Whitten in behind him, but who's out wide? It's Shane Martin. Look at the trim angle. Settle it down. He's going to blow it over into this straight. Paul Whitten's up the inside. Hold your breath. Oh, he's not getting it. Adam Bryan, how he did that is beyond me. Adam Bryan. Oh, his wife's sitting right next to me. How he avoided an incident there. Take your hat off to that young man. But out in front, Shane Martin. Wowee, that was a hyper-aggressive move into turn 3. Hunter Valley Fire in front. Where's Paul Whitten? He almost drove through the side of Adam Breen, but how he kept that boat under control. Breeny, you are a superstar. Paul Whitten now settles into second spot. Remembering this is the SST 120. It's the smallest engine in the field, but the boat's allowed to be 50 kilos lighter. Moving up through the field, Greg Banks. Final feature, where did he come from? The DAC by number 44 now. He's looking super strong. Sorry, I've got to get myself under control. That is as close as you'll ever get to a massive tragedy. And Adam Breen, I don't know how you did it, mate. That was absolute instinct. Out the back of the field now. Let's have a look at them. So Shane Martin, Hunter Valley Fire, there will be scrutiny on that move in turn number 4, no doubt. And the big moves are coming now. Look at the pace from the GDR of Armourine Jacksons and Lucas Tree Services. Kai Cornell is super quick out wide in 117 Motorsport. Through goes Shane Martin, Hunter Valley Fire, race leader. This is final feature. Greg Banks, the GTR of Armourine Jacksons, Lucas Tree Services moving up. Kai Cornell sitting on the wing. Keep your eyes on turn number 1. As I head through, it's starting to get very, very busy out there now. Sam Lucas running a very wide line. Paul Whitten doing a very nice job to hang on to the back of this pack right now, the Mulgard. But Shane Martin, we saw it with oil issues yesterday, the boat not performing. He has absolutely dialed this thing in. It is flying right now. Shaving that turn line within 2 feet. But watch the battle here. We saw this with Lucas yesterday, running a wider line. Oh, drifting the GDR through. That is on the ragged edge. You get that corner wrong, the boat will trip over and you will barrel roll in the mid-corner. The pace is phenomenal. From Lucas in the mid-corner. Kai Cornell, he's found ground from yesterday. He's got better top-end speed, no doubt about it. The 117 Motorsport machine sitting right on the back of this pack. The saltwater mist settling through as these boats plough the horsepower. Engines revving 6.5, 7,000 RPM, gearboxes rotating. These 4 and 5 plate race propellers trying to get the horsepower out of the water. Have a look at the battle for second right now. Greg Banks is through. Lucas is through. Now sitting right behind him. Stephen Gilligan. Oh, Paul Whitten nearly pins it. Paul Whitten right in front of the field. Just goes that little bit too high. Gets the trim of the nose right down so well controlled. That's as close as you go to going upside down in a full 360-degree backflip. The man from Victoria, he's got the smaller engine on, so trying to compensate with a little bit too much trim there now. Needs to settle it down or that will end in tragedy. Greg Banks and Sam Lucas, they are all here for second spot. DAC on the inside, the People White Machine has got the better acceleration, but Lucas, oh, shuts the door. Greg Banks, lots of experience behind the wheel, doesn't panic, just drives through the spray and outside the corner. So some very, very aggressive moves coming in this reverse mid race. Paul saying the Trent King is brand new bottom of this boat. Slowly building it back to where he expects to be, but I'm going to need a lie down after this one. Up here, there is a lot going on. Alright, I'll take a breath and take the voice down to Shane Martin, the Professor. An uncharacteristically aggressive move from this guy. He's ruthless, but that was a very, very big move on that first lap, but he has made the most of the clear water. Lucas has found his way into some clear traffic. The speed is phenomenal, but I don't think he's got any numbers on Martin out in front of him. Final feature. Very nice through turns 1 and 2, so the purple and white DAC into the Bricker Pipelines back straight for one more lap. Looking very, very strong. Now, starting to just eke out lap by lap a little bit, so he's now as forward in the third spot on the podium. Remember, this is the reverse race. The points for race number 1 are accumulated with points from this race to give you your pole position. Red flag, we've got a boat over. Sam Lucas, Marine Jackson's Lucas Tree Services. He is upside down in turn number 1. I said he was pushing on, and mate, unfortunately it's gone wrong for Sam Lucas. And it looks to me like he's just on the exit to that corner, so he's actually turned the boat and potentially rolled up to the outside. So the dive crews and rescue crews doing their work. I'm pretty sure I've got him. Yeah, I've got him in the water. So helmet's out. He's out next to the boat. So, mate, it was, as I said yesterday, I've got his father down here next to me, Barry Lucas. He was driving it to the ragged edge yesterday as he was in that one, and unfortunately for Lucas, it has just gone wrong. He has come unstuck. So I didn't get eyes on it down there, but there's one of two ways that can happen. You've either got too much trim, as we saw with Paul Whitten, the boat takes off and flies and goes to the sky, goes upside down, but I think he's probably just on the exit of turn number 1, so I think potentially the back of the boat came around and tripped the boat over sideways and has rolled the boat over. So there is a whole lot to unpack in that one. Shane Martin in Hunter Valley Fire, wowee, he was super quick. Hyper aggressive in that first one, so the officials will have a look at that one, but got it done, got clear, got forward. Yeah, okay, great news too from Barry Lucas for all the fans out there that Sam is absolutely okay. So he'll be upset, he'll be angry. It's probably a good thing he's in the lake because that'll help him calm down and cool down a little bit, but not what you want to see. This is round number 1 of a 4-round series, and that will put them out of action for at least this race. We may see them back later on, but you could hear the big thump as the boat went over. So we'll have to wait and see. It's one of those categories, there's a huge amount of camaraderie between the two, but that's going to slow us up for a little bit, ladies and gents, while we get this sorted out. So it's a great chance to get up and check out some of those market stalls up there, and maybe go for something to eat. It's a good chance to get a coffee, or I'm not even sure what an angry rooster is, but I reckon you need to get some of that in your life.
might take him back over there for another video, okay? Stay here. Daddy. You guys gonna stay here? Haley. Mummy's just gonna take you for a walk this way.
All right, so just an update. Obviously, I can hear you all holding your breath out there. Just word in, both the drivers are okay. All right, so word out there. So there's some upset people and stuff like that, but everyone is physically fit and fine out there. So real tragedy for Mel King. Had a cracking weekend so far, and of course Ali James out there, but these two boats coming together on the exit to that corner out there. So unfortunately, that will put them out, I think, for the remainder of the weekend. But won't be too long. We'll get the little boat machine towed back in, and we'll go for a restart. And then the next up is going to be our Formula GP final. So very shortly, I'll take you through the pole position. So don't go anywhere, ladies and gents, because we are about to settle the big 14 boat field. If you were here at one of our heat races, we had 7. As I look at Beck Fowler, timekeeper to the superstars, the eyebrows go in the air. 14 boats out here on this track. It's going to be unbelievable to see. Can we please make sure we get Alison's trailer to the boat ramp? If you're not Alison's trailer and you're not involved, can you please get off the boat ramp immediately? Because we need to get this boat straight onto a trailer. We need those boat ramps clear, guys. So not you, Voodoo, whoever's on that far boat ramp, can you please move that car immediately? Thank you. Oliver? Hey, just a note, if you're here at a spectator fleet, unfortunately the pit area is a closed area, so the fence here, there's a whole lot of rules and regulations in the pit that we need to control for our permit. So later on in the day when the pits are officially open, you'll be able to come in and have a look. But for right now, the pit area is closed, so no public entry, unless you've done a whole lot of things like breathalyse and sign in and sign the waivers and do all the bits and pieces. So we'll invite you in a little bit later on, but for now, please ensure that you remain outside our pit area. Thank you.
Being associated with food.
All right, so word through from race control. We will be restarting that race because next up, ladies and gentlemen, we are going live in the Formula GP final. Wowee, it's been brought forward in the program, ladies and gentlemen, so a bit of pressure on our crews here in pit lane. So let's go through the field. We will not, of course, see Sam Lucas, the hard-charging Victorian, and R. Marine Jackson's Lucas Tree Services after his big blowover into turn number 1. That boat will not take part any further this weekend. Out of 14, an absolute miracle move by this young guy. Got all the time in the world for him. Adam Breen in Cracker Racing. Obviously, we saw him caught up in that turn 2 incident and somehow managed to avoid a massive disaster there. And credit to Breeny, but having to pull out of that race. And so, yeah, that's cost him a bag of points. So he's going to run out of pole number 14. There we go, back 14 boats. Out of 13, they haven't gone all their way this weekend, but they are still here. It is Lucas Oils and Nick Coles, the NZ Formula 1 champion, is over here with us this weekend. So Nick Coles will run out of pole 13. Out of pole 12 is none other, and I can just see his crew chief on the boat ramp right now, Dave Meads, the mediator, Bud Light Racing. They have found their issue and they are ready to go. They had a leak in a compressor hose on the Optimax, so keep your eye out from a wide pole for Dave Meads. Out of pole 11, 888 Mainline Dynalog. This is Simon the Iceman Troy. Wowee, he's in a wide pole, but if anyone can charge forward, it is this man. Number 10 is Middy's Electrical, Andrew Chili Chilver. Keep your eye on this guy. He's been flying all weekend. He had a DNF in a couple of these races due to some unforeseen electrical issues. He's got on top of those, so he's going to be super quick. Shane Martin, Hunter Valley Fire. He's going to run out of 9. Out of 8, and I tell you what, this is his first round in this series. He's running the SST 120. He deserves to be there. Paul Witten runs from pole 8, so midfield. That is a huge effort from this young man. Paul Sane, out of 7, the Aussie F1 Composites, completely re-engineered subfloor in this boat. He's made his way into the top half of the grid at P7. Pole 6 will be Stephen Gilligan, R. Marine Epic Racing. A great job for the Victorian Outboard Club superstar. Pole 5, Matty Smith Racing. Wowee, Smith Family Racing. This is the furthest we've seen Smithy up this final start grid for a long time, and as we heard from him earlier, he is absolutely loving being back in the game in the brand new Baba. Pole 4 is Mr. Hollywood. Kai Cornell in 117 Motorsport has been faultless all weekend, our fastest qualifier. Pole 3 is Mr. Greg Banks in the final feature. Pole 2, Butler Vehicles, Reese Coles, and ladies and gentlemen, your pole 1 in the big final is Mr. Ewan Bricker in TBR Racing. Restart 25 550s. Let's get a look at this crew. PD racing to the inside is Aaron Pratt. Out of 2 is Rowdy Burns the Gambler. 3 Yamato Tomato. Jason King leads it in, and it's Burns first to the first corner. Sets the tone, but to his outside is the Yamato. Just back is Voodoo. So Voodoo, a little bit back to the outside. The boat running a lot flatter than yesterday, so I know he was worried he's nearly blew it over in the back chute, but conditions somewhat different. The drag race in the back. But have a look at the pace from Voodoo now. He's absolutely flying. This is the 3rd boat in that lead pack. He's up the inside of Yamato. He's now got Gambler in his sights. Oh, Rowdy Burns hits a huge hole in the middle of that back straight in the Gambler. Janelle will be looking on, so Gambler goes a little bit wide. Yamato now, the red and white machine, drops to the inside with Jason King. This is a carbon copy of race number 1. They are 3 wide. The pace outside is unbelievable from Dan the Man in Voodoo. But here we go, Rowdy Burns. Is he going to shut the door? As he looked to his inside, the Yamato's there. King leaves the little Yamato, the 550cc, but Burnsy, he's got the drop on him. The Gambler leads lap 1. But outside, Voodoo has some serious boat pace. Can he keep it under control? Here comes young Aaron Pratt, the Ministry of Trim. He's got the big 6-inch jacking blade on this rig. They're going to make an engine upgrade next time round. This is a brand new boat, first race meeting. Gee, it's on for young and old in turn number 1. Kingy just hitting to the inside. He's got a move coming now. Kingy's now moved up on the inside of Gambler. He's running the tight line, the little hydroplane out turning the bigger 40 horsepower 550cc. There is nothing between these three. This is the racing you expect in this category. It is sheep stations right now. This is anyone's gig. Outside and wide is Voodoo. He's got a long way around to go. He's got huge boat speed, but corner handling, you can see he's really having to come off the button. Yamato drives it in hard with Kingy. They are gunner to gunner one more time. I'm going to need a lie down up here in the box. The timekeepers are going mental. What will we do? Here we go. Jason King on the inside. 25 years since he's pedalled this boat. He's on his knees, leaning forward, no seat, got the hand grip throttle. His quads will be burning, the lower back will be streaming. Boy, did I decide to do this. He's looking back, things are now inside. Rowdy Burns, his second part of the track. He's got them all over these two. The Gambler, boat owned by Janelle Burns, out in front. Her driver doing a good job of flying the flag high right now, so he's strong through here, but he's been losing ground in this next sequence of corners through 1 and 2. Geez, clean through that time, so I think we might see him hold off this pack. So he's into the Bricker Pipelines, back straight for another lap. And yeah, Burnsy's got a real go. Oh, big moment there from Voodoo. He's tried to step to the inside of the Yamato and it almost came unstuck. Dan nearly going all the way around, but the Yamato's off pace. So something is wrong with Jason King's machine out there. So the Yamato off pace. There's a bit of water coming up out of the back of the boat. I'm not sure if he hasn't got damage. No, he's just eased right off. So the little hydro is now he's looking over his shoulder. So something is wrong. He's turned inside the course. After 25 years in retirement, maybe the Yamato has a problem. He's got a hole in the boat. There you go. He's heading for the rescue boat. He's got a hole in the boat. The red flag is going to have to fly, I think, because we've got a boat sinking. We'll have done enough. Rowdy Burns in the Gambler's going to take the win under the red. The checkered flag, call it red flag, call it what you need. The race will be Rowdy Burns for the win. It's all happening. Can we get some people in the water down here immediately, please, to grab the side of this Yamato? Gav, can you pull forward, please? We need some people in the water right away. Wow, there you go. 25 550s, that's pretty exciting, but not for me in the commentary box. I need a good Bex and a bit of a lie down. I'll tell you what, after that one. Well, thanks for joining us down here on the bank, ladies and gentlemen. This is round number 1. of the Australian Formula GP Championships, and this is your final race. And if you can sense a little bit of expectation, a little bit of anxiety up here in the voice of the commentating crew, is because this is the first time we will see the full field on the water at once. All 14 boats will do battle on a 14-minute hunt to take the trophy for round number 1 in the Australian Championship Series. If you've been here for any of the heat races, you've seen how busy it is. These boats are running a 45-second lap time around here, or down to 43-second lap time around here. We've only ever seen 7 out there. We are now about to double that and go to the full field of 14 boats. We've got some very quick boats further down the field due to issues and mishaps. The points accumulated from race number 1, race number 2 and qualifying will set your grid position. So we've got some boats out of order. They're going to have to work their way through the field from the back. We have never seen 14 boats try and negotiate their way through this starting dock. This is going to be action-packed without doubt. So get yourself to the bank. If you need something to drink, do it right now, because this will be big, ladies and gents. Let's take a walk through the field of competitors that we have here with us. This afternoon, the boat to run out of pole number 1 is Ewan Bricker in TBR. Young 21-year-old from Langwarrin in Victoria. The team principal Gavin Bricker, very, very experienced. He's competed internationally. Is really working hard with his son Ewan on their development. The boat is a DAC, so a European-built boat, and it's in its original. It was originally a factory-decked race boat, so it's reverted to its original colours, the stars and stripes of factory DAC. Career highlights for young Ewan Bricker is winning the Archer E Memorial in Victoria. In his previous boat, he's the youngest ever competitor to win that coveted trophy. Last season, we know Ewan was very, very quick, but he made some errors behind the wheel which saw him upside down in more than one occasion. He seems to have removed that from his repertoire. This kid has been absolutely phenomenal this weekend. The driver that he looks up to in this paddock is Simon Troy. The way he drives is something to behold. So big shout out to the fastest qualifier of Ewan Bricker. Pole number 2 is Reece Coles in Butler Vehicles. He comes from the Hawkesbury River. We call him the Smiling Assassin. He's a real estate agent by day, but he is one of the toughest competitors you will ever likely to meet out there on the water. The Butler Vehicles machine and team is always prepared to 110%. Stone Real Estate, Southern Plumbing Racing and Southeast Financial are supporting Reece Coles. The blue machine will be there come the final lap. You can mark my words. Where will it be? Only time will tell. Final feature, Greg Banks. This has been a Hollywood story for this man. This is a brand new boat. Banksy has been around the racing circuit for every day, but this new rig has really put him back to a learning curve. He had no expectations coming into round number 1 of this championship series, but he has found his way with some absolutely ruthless, clean racing to the 3rd spot on the grid. This is a new boat. He's got a lot of learning to do, but Jeffrey Finance, Assassin Pest Control, Speed and Leisure as his sponsors, more than getting their money's worth this weekend. Good luck to Greg Banks and his crew out of pole number 3. Pole number 4, Mr. Hollywood, 117 Motorsport, the orange and white machine of Kai Cornell. This is an Aussie F1 composites boat built here in Australia. And this kid has not made a mistake all weekend. He has always been fast, the 24-year-old from Taree Powerboat Club. But he's always been fast, but has been punctuated by some significant miscalculations and crashes. He's taken that out of his repertoire, and he is performing at the absolute top end of the game. Brisbane Marine Centre and Sorensen and Colden Builders on board as his partners here this weekend. Woswell, Moot Max, Mark Lauren, his beautiful partner, Mark Karen. There's a whole lot of support here for Mr. Hollywood, Kai Cornell. So good luck to that young man in 117 Motorsport. Matty Smith. This has been one hell of a story Fifth pole, you can see the beautiful yellow and blue Smith Family Racing Baba with the brand new Mercury Optimax. The team electing to go Optimax this season for the first time. The decision was made on Wednesday, so the boat was put together, and the first hit out has been this weekend, and Smithy is looking the goods this weekend. He will be there in the end, a truckload of experience. He's raced since he was 20 years old, been through the Formula 2 SST category, done a whole lot of stuff in this brand new boat. Sponsored this weekend by Express Design and Melrose Contracting. These two right now are a pair made in heaven, so Smithy really enjoying his time behind the wheel. Epic Racing, Marine Jackson I should say, Steve Gilligan, he's in sixth spot on this grid, and that is a huge result for this guy. This is his first full series in this boat. You can see the Martini race coloured trim, the red top sides, the blue flash and the silver deck of the Epic Racing machine, the man from the Victorian Outboard Club. This is a GTR built here in Australia by GTR Racing, and I tell you what, the sister boat, Sam Lucas, we saw that completely destroy itself in the last race, but these boats lightning quick. Steve Gilligan just coming to terms with the Optimax power plant. Brand new engine this weekend, actually had to run it in the week leading up to it, so new power head on board for Steve Gilligan, and he has been performing at the top end of his game. Paul Sane, that silver bullet out there, the Trim King Racing Aussie F1 composite. This boat is prepared immaculately by the crew. They weren't satisfied with the way the boat was developing. They figured that they'd taken it as far as they could, so they made the brutal decision to flip the boat over, cut the bottom off, and have completely reprofiled the sponsons. So this is the first time they've had the boat in the water. Actually, the qualifying session or the warm-up session on Saturday morning was the first time ever Paul has sat in the seat with this brand new hull. So completely different hull shape, and the boat thus far has performed very nicely. So a lot more potential to come from the Trim King crew, but starting out of pole 7, this will be a very strong run from these guys amongst some very good competition. Paul Whitten, one of the newest members to join this crew. This is boat number 67. The all-ray machine, the Mulgard. Paul Whitten, the arborist from down there in Victoria. He's a very nice guy in pit lane, but I tell you what, you wouldn't pick it. When he gets out there behind the wheel, he grows horns. His first full time in the series, as I mentioned, and he's the only competitor here this weekend running the smaller SST 120 power plant. So the 2-litre power plant up against the 2.5s and the Mercury Optimax. But he has put 7 other drivers in his wash, so he has earned his spot, an 8th spot on the podium. The man who's outside this all-white machine, the Hunter Valley Fire Racing, is Shane Martin. So Shane and I, I've watched this guy race for many years, and he is incredibly quick here this weekend. He's had a lot of drama over the last few years, and a lot of that hasn't been his own doing. He's been involved in several incidents that have taken him out of the season. But this guy is back. He's much quicker than his pole will tell you this weekend, starting at a 9. It's a long race. He's got plenty of time to find his way to the front. We expect to see him in the top 5 of this field as this race settles down. On the far side of the boat ramp, the pink and white machine of Andrew Chilver, the Minis electrical machine, boat number 34. This guy will be one to watch as well. He has been super quick. Had a couple of electrical dramas that have cost him points, which has dropped him down the qualifying order. But this boat, he's actually driving it way beyond his experience. It's only his first hit out for the full season. He got a couple of rounds here with us last year, and I tell you what, Andrew Chilvers will be one to watch in this big final. He's just to the right of the boat ramp in the pink and white Minis electrical machine. Simon Troy, boat number 11, the mainline Dynalog machine. The white hull with the red canopy lid. This guy, the Iceman, finished 3rd in the championships last year. He is a very talented operator. They've been plagued with engine dramas, so the 888 Motorsport crew, they really weren't ready to come. They decided against it up until 3 days before the event, because they're competing in a lot of the New South Wales Championship Series, and they've torn up a whole lot of gear, but they made the commitment. They worked round the clock for 2 days, and they have bought the boat here, and Simon Troy is here to improve his position out of 11th spot, but he's got some very tough people in and around him back there in this grid. This is without doubt the best grid I've seen in the last 3 or 4 years at this event. Dave Meads, the VOC, the Bud Light race machine, will start out of pole number 12. So the 49-year-old from Victoria, the Bud Light racing machine, they have finally got this Optimax ready to fire. They've had nothing but dramas throughout the course of the weekend, different issues from electrical to oil feed systems, but I've had it on good authority that Dave thinks he is ready to go in the Bud Light race machine. Boat number 13 away in the grid is the black and white Lucas Oils machine, race number 87. This is Nick Coles, the New Zealand superstar. They unpacked the container from this boat on Wednesday this week and have worked their absolute fingers off to get this thing ready for the water. 36 years of age is Nick. He comes from Cambridge in New Zealand, the Kiwi he's known to around the paddock. This is a Jeffrey hull, so it's the only Jeffrey hull on this circuit, but Lucas Oils and Performance Boat Building and MW Contracting helping him fund his campaign here. A little bit further down the order they expect, but to the credit of his crew, so Timmy, Courtney and Ben, they have been working overtime to get this boat settled in and get it ready for this big final. Last but by no means least is boat number 14 away, Adam Breen, Cracker Racing. This guy is an absolute legend. The Super Dad, we call him. He's been running this boat. It's a bigger, heavier boat. It's built around F1 and unlimited racing. So stepping back into this horsepower restricted category, the boat's probably a little bit down on top end speed on these perfect flat conditions. If it was rough, write the book. But I tell you what, this guy avoided a big incident last time round. He's one hell of a peddler. The Cracker Racing crew, they are absolutely faultless in their preparation. So expect big things from Adam as this race unfolds. So this is going to be big, ladies and gents. As I said, we have got 14 boats on this super tight Lake Macquarie course, and it's a big shout out to our series sponsors this weekend, Project Roofing and Brecker Pipelines Backstraight for their support, Pipelines I should say, for their support of this round. And to Four Tree Lawyers and Lake Macquarie Council for their support of this round of the Australia Formula Powerboat Grand Prix. So the officials just going through their final checklist now. So that you understand the way this is going to work, boats 1 to 7 so boats 1 to 9 will start from the spectator area, head straight across. You'll see in the middle of the course there is a round orange buoy, a small round ball in the middle of the course. That's what we refer to as the splitter buoy. So boats 10 to 14 will be required to stay to the right of that splitter buoy. So they will start from the right-hand side of the boat ramp. So boats 1 to 9 will all go in straight ahead as they have been. The remaining 5 boats will head out from the right-hand side. They've got to stay. So the idea is that there is no way all 14 boats are going to get through this first corner. It's to provide some space for our fastest qualifiers and to ensure that we have a nice clean turn number 1. So we're going to see a practice start, ladies and gents, so these guys will get a look at the course for one more time. The heart rate on board the drivers in these boats is going to be through the roof right now. The adrenaline building up, so starting to take a big breath. We're about to go green for our sighting lap, so this will give you a little taste. Hold their line as they head across on this sighting lap. So the black flag signal to form up into your formations. First boat into the pole grid will be Ewan Brecker. He has scored the most points. He was second fastest in our qualifying Saturday. Has been exceptional all weekend. Has earned the opportunity to lead this field into round one of the Australian Championships. This young bloke, the young gun from Beaumaris in Victoria, just gone 21 years old. So not only have we doubled the size of the field, we have also doubled the race distance. 14 minutes plus 1 lap. So we are not too far away from our start, ladies and gents. Don't know about the drivers, but my heart rate is up in the commentary box. There is no doubt about it. Yeah, Naomi, you stay where you are, and everyone back beside you, Naomi, that's perfect.
Clear that house, the square rectangle house, the tree on the left.
Ewan Brecker, Reece Coles, Greg Banks, Kai Cornell, Matt Smith, Stephen Gilligan, Paul Sane, Paul Whitten,
Three on the left.
Shane Martin, Andrew Tilver,
Yes.
Simon Troy, Dave Meads, Nick Coles, and Adam Green.
That way a little bit.
14 of the best
Hold there.
of Australia and New Zealand's tunnel boat drivers here to put on an absolute show at round one of the AFP GP. The tension is palpable down here in pit lane. You can see it on the faces of the team. This is a pressure cooker. You must get through this first turn clean. Your whole campaign comes unstuck right here. The 2.5 Mercuries have been getting the drop on the start over the Optimax. The Optimax system, high pressure, fuel and air injection, so the engine actually has to rotate nearly a full revolution to build pressure before the ignition system will fire. Not so for the carburetor 2.5, so they will get the drop off the start. Ewan Brecker has been lightning quick. But I tell you what, the guy sitting in pole 3, the white and purple machine, Greg Banks, has been the quickest. all weekend. Have a look at the trim angle on Greg Banks' machine right now. So a totally different approach. He wants to launch the boat up and flatten it. John Fowler, our Australian referee down here in pit, is satisfied with the grid. The driver's taking a bearing on the other side of the lake to try and make sure they hold a straight line. These boats will get up to top speed before they hit the other end of the course, so you're going from 0 to over 100 miles an hour. And then you've got a 90-degree series of left-hand corners to come back down the straight. If you are on the bank down here, you will never see anything like it when this field charges straight at you. Do not look away. We are at 2 flags, ladies and gentlemen. The first flag will lower. The ignitions are on. Finger on the button. Bricker. There's a big move coming. Have a look at turn 2, the top right. Greg Banks now is moving up for an inside run on Ewan Bricker. This is your right-hand turn. They've got lap traffic in Adam Breen in front of them. Bricker now, but Greg Banks is taking 5 seconds out of him in that number 9. There's less than 2 minutes to run. Greg Banks is on the charge. 2 on the way. Bricker out wide. Here comes Banks. He's closed again. He's within 3 boat lengths into the turn. Bricker shuts it off. Banks comes in hard. Sits in his front. There's a minute and a half to run in this one. Ewan Bricker, he needs to stay charged because Greg Banks is coming on strong. This is going to go all the way at the front of the field. Third spot, Kai Cornell. He's watching on. Andrew Chilver, Minnie's Electrical into 4. Steve Gilligan in 5. Next time through will be the yellow flag for race leader Ewan Bricker. Just talking about it, Bricker has pushed for Bricker. The challenge today, he fails in race. Yellow flag this time through. Here is a race leader. Yellow flag, he's got 1 lap to go, ladies and gentlemen. Can he keep in front of this man? The final feature, Greg Banks in 44. Third, by orange and white machine of Kai Cornell Motorsport. Andrew Chilver now in 4th. In Minnie's Electrical pushing up on the back of Cornell. Steve Gilligan top 5 for Epic Art Marie Jackson. So a super run from him, the Victorian, at this front breakaway gap. But keep your eyes at the back of the field. He's got 2 male corners. There's lap traffic. Bricker is round clean. He stars and strides from round 1. Now back to Daco's taking 2. Put your hands together. He's got 1 more corner, ladies and gentlemen. Continue to the hands. It's your race winner, round number 1. And the crowd goes wild. Ewan Bricker, ladies and gentlemen. Greg Banks in the final feature. Second spot at Kai Cornell. 117 Motorsport, Mr. Hollywood gets the jump done. Andrew Chilver in the 4th spot. 5th spot, Epic Harbour Marine. Steve Gilligan. Keep your eyes peeled for our finishing positions here. Matty Smith puts her hands together. This will be 6th spot for Smith Family Racing. Well done, that man. Let's just still race and he don't even care. Nick Coles, top 10 finish for that man. So there you go. Well, sorry for the shouting. I get a little bit excited when that goes, but what a race. I'll tell you what, with 2 laps to go, Greg Banks was coming. Well, I see Banks was coming and that Ewan was losing pace. Just had word from Gavin Bricker in that second to last lap. The Optimax went into limp home mode. It decided that it needed to protect itself, so Ewan had to shut the ignition off and shut it back on to reset the ECU. And mate, what a run from that young kid. The kid from Beaumaris is 21, I think nearly 22 years of age. He has been promising this for a long, long time. And he has had the perfect start to round number 1. Huge shout out to Gavin Bricker, team principal at Bricker Racing. And of course, a major support partner of our series in Bricker Rathmines. Some incredible results in that field, and as I look across the mainline Dynalog machine, congratulations to the team. Obviously not at the pointy end where they wanted to be, but they got the points finished that they needed, so well done, a big recovery out of that crew. We boat number 65. You can see Joel Smith perched on the sponson. There'll be a big smile on the dial of Matt Smith. What a cracking run from the Smith family race machine. Welcome back to the pointy end of the field to Matt Smith. It's good to see a huge supporter of this series. So you can see him out there on the water now, ladies and gentlemen, mums and dads, boys and girls. He's got the checkered flag stuck outside the cockpit window. Take off your hat and wave it, give him a round of applause, cheer and raise your glasses to Ewan Bricker of TBR Racing, the young Victorian who has just taken out massive points around number 1 of the Australian Formula Powerboat Grand Prix Championship Series here at Lake Macquarie. Give it up for him, Ewan Bricker, ladies and gentlemen. And he's out of the cockpit. Give it one more time. He was absolutely pumped with that one. Ewan Bricker, keep the applause rolling for this man here, boat number 14, the purple and white final feature, Mr. Greg Banks, ladies and gentlemen, second place getter of round number 1. He's not here with me out in front, but he's out the back right now. The orange and white machine, boat 117. Kai Cornell, 117 Motorsport. Give him a round of applause as well. Your top 3 podium here at round number 1. All right, we're over here on the boat ramp on the finishing dock with Kai Cornell, Mr. Hollywood, 117 Motorsport, mate. 3rd spot on the podium. You look absolutely spent. How was it, mate?
Mate, it was unreal. Like, couldn't have wanted any better. We were pushing at the start, and then I just got fatigued towards the end, and it was maintaining the position that sort of kept me going.
Mate, and credit to you, you have driven faultlessly all weekend. I was laughing, I said, "Can I get the helmet off?" I said, "I haven't got any strength in my hands." You look absolutely cooked, so it's hard work out there.
Yeah, definitely. Towards the end of the race, it started to get a bit rough, and I started to get a bit sloppy, and it was all over the place at one stage. But yeah, just Dad was into me on the radio, keep pushing, and
Easy for him to say, mate. Obviously, you want to give a shout out to a few people because, mate, from qualifying, you're the fastest qualifier here this weekend. you performed faultlessly. Hasn't been one niggle. The boat looks great, looks hard, looks fast, looks flat. Obviously, you've got a big crew here. Who do you want to say thanks to?
Oh, just all of them. There's too many to name there. They all done an awesome job. We just worked on doing the basics right and getting it all right from the start, and yeah, it all happened in the end.
Congratulations, mate. You absolutely deserve it. That's a massive bag of points for round number 1. Looking forward to round 2.
Yeah, definitely. Can't wait.
There you go. Put your hands together for it. Kai Cornell, 117 Motorsport, your 3rd place getter, ladies and gentlemen. So we're over here in pit lane, and the epic Rathmines Jackson's machine is lined up for the Waybreeze. That can mean only one thing. Stephen Gilligan made your top 5. Congratulations, what a drive.
Thank you, thank you. That was a bit rough, but no, it was good.
Mate, it was pretty exciting out there from the back. We didn't know where to look. The racing was clean, but yeah, conditions were hard. Like there was a lot of wheel work going on out there.
Absolutely. It was like, obviously the salt water, very, very dense and just really hard. So although it didn't look rough, the hardness of the water definitely knocks you around out there. But it was good, it was good.
Mate, it was better than good. You've been promising this for a while, and you've made your way to the pointy end of the field. You've had a great run. The rest of the team has been a bit of a challenge this weekend, but from your point of view, it's pretty much been a faultless run, mate, and a great big bag of points. So big shout out to a couple of people, I'm sure.
Absolutely. MSC Science for doing the wrap on the boat, DGG Race Products, my lovely wife, my beautiful kids, my team, Sam, Stewie, all of the Marine boys. It was great. Had a great time. Thank you.
Mate, you deserve it. It's great to see you up there. Stephen Gilligan, ladies and gentlemen, the owner-driver of Epic Marine Jacksons. He's got his kids around him, his wife here with him, and he is over the moon with that one. Okay, so released out on their siding lap is the Formula 4 category. We're still down here in pit lane trying to grab a word with our final winner, Ewan Bricker, but the F4s are heading out onto the water, and we'll give you a run through on those in a minute. He's going to love this. I'm going to get him straight out of the boat and stick a microphone in his face, mate. Ewan Bricker, big fella, you're one of the youngest guns out there. You've been promising this for a long while. Get on down here with me. Mate, congratulations, what a drive.
Cheers, Murph, thank you. I'm very proud with that. It's been a big work for me to add the boys, man, heaps of help from Doggy and racing and everything. I mean, it's the first race with the new motor set up. We're happy with that.
Oh, you should be, mate. You earned it. I think second fastest in qualifying for Saturday, so came out of the box really strong, but you drove faultlessly, and you know, I've talked about this with you a lot. You've had this in you for a long time. Your decision making is through the roof. You were absolutely faultless there, mate, but conditions, it didn't look easy.
No, mate, it was rough out there. I mean, on the back chute, all you could see was white coming towards you. A lot of rollers out there as well, especially with the salt. I mean, it's a lot more buoyant, so it's a bit different a turn compared to what we usually run. But no, it was different a race, but I enjoyed it. It was good.
did, mate, and there's a whole lot of people that are painting a massive target on your back right now because you are the series leader of the Australian Formula Powerboat Grand Prix Championships. Mate, you absolutely deserve it, and you must be looking forward to round number 2.
Definitely are, mate. Round 2 coming up in December. I've got a short time away, and actually need to do a bit of testing as well to see what else we get out of the boat. So,
there you go, well done, mate. Ewan Brecker, your series champion for round number 1 of the Australian Formula Powerboat Grand Prix Championships. He's absolutely cooked. He's a young, fit bloke, and I can see it in his face. He's done the hard yards on that one for sure. Okay, he's just had a set of rollers coming through the back of the course right on those start turns, so we're just waiting for those to clear. We are about to go to 2 flags, ladies and gentlemen. This is the final of the Formula 4 category. Average age of these drivers is about 17 years and 6 months. Pole number 1, Carlin Bailey. Let's watch him off the dock. Pole 2, Lockie Bride in the Phantom, and 3, Max Cook. Here we go. The Mercury 60 Air 5 4-stroke engines, per to life. Good start from Lockie Bride in the Phantom. So that's pole 2, the green and white machine. Now that's going to put a lot of pressure on Carlin Bailey if Lockie Bride can get into that first turn sequence in front of him. So he's got to leave a lane for him, but it does mean that Lockie can set the tone of the corner. So let's watch them through now. Inside line, he's pole 1, Queen Bee. He's made the grade, so he's got up on the inside as Carlin Bailey, but Bride just in his wash to his outside. So the big charge now, this slight headwind. Have a look at these little left fours. They are horsepower. Carlin Bailey right on the ragged edge. This is the white boat to the right-hand side. They're coming into turn number 1 now. What will Bride do? Does he stay wide or does he look for an inside run? He stays to the outside, keeps his momentum up. Max Cook at the back door a little bit from that wide pole as they head through now. But I tell you what, Lockie Bride is on the charge. The green and white Phantom, this young gun from Victoria, is up here for the series. His compatriot Tyler Gilligan unfortunately blowing over in a very blusterly qualifying session, so not out there on the water, but this is actually a big move from Lockie Bride. It looks like the team have tuned up and found a little bit of pace, but Carlin Bailey now, the Queen Bee race machine, settles the boat down, and now these guys have got to find their rhythm. So Formula 4, what's it about? It's an international racing category of Formula boats. It's an unbelievable entry level. And it teaches these guys all about the skill and the science of trimming a boat for performance. The engines are unmodified, so you're not permitted to performance enhance the engines anyway. So that takes that component away from each of these drivers. So it's all about being able to steer the boat the most efficiently, find the best setup. And right now, Carlin Bailey, he has been the man to beat all weekend. Father Craig Bailey on the cans. Obviously, a key crew member of Marit Stramoy on the F1 H2O World Championship Series, so a lot of experience there, but Carlin has taken this boat absolutely by the horns since taking it over last season, but looking very, very nice through turn number 2 and into the Bricker Pipelines back straight for another lap in the book. So 10 minutes plus a lap to run for these 3 young guns. Bailey into turn number 3. So puts the boat in hard that time through, so experimenting with a different line, so trying to shorten the course as opposed to running a wider, quicker line. I said it's all about experimentation to find the best balance. Gee, he's got that boat trimmed beautifully. You can see the boat just dancing sponson to sponson. They're a little bit deceptive, these F4s, because they're so quiet. The Mercury 64-stroke EFI, they're pushing around 75 miles an hour, so about 130 kilometres an hour out there as they come into these corners. And the Formula boat, obviously the pilots of these boats, where they're an air-assisted hull, so what that means is trimming the nose of the boat, forces air underneath into the tunnel between the 2 sponsons. As that air travels back further, the distance or the gap underneath the boat narrows, so it compresses that air and provides vertical lift. So it lifts the boat up and out of the water. The science behind that is the less boat in the water, the less surface friction. So you've got a limited amount of horsepower, a limited amount of RPM in these engines. So the less boat you have on the surface or the contact patch with the water, the less resistance. So the boat will move further forward and faster. You'll notice however when they come into these turns, like right now, let's look at Lockie Bride come through. When the boat's fully trimmed, there is very little steering because you've got none of the boat in the water for the engine to work against. So you've got to trim or change the trim angle to get the sponsons back down in contact with the water to give you the leverage you need to turn these boats in and out of the corners. We've just watched the Formula GPs do it, and because their horsepower is through the roof, they can slam the boat down, shoot it through, use the momentum, and then get straight back onto the trim. But with a limited horsepower category like this, if you try and drive the boat that way, you tend to blow off far too much speed in that mid-corner. And conditions here today, this is a fast and open circuit. This course is one of the few that we're not running a right-hander, so fundamentally different with prop selections and setups. And of course this is a full saltwater course, so the salt providing additional buoyancy, the specific gravity of the water is being denser if you like. You heard Steve Gilligan mention that before, so there's more in the water versus a freshwater lake race. So there's more purchase for the propeller, more bite if you like, get better traction, so you can completely change the setup between a saltwater run and a freshwater run. The Carlin Bailey looking very, very nice down there as he rolls through into turn number 1. Turn number 1 now, through goes Lockie Bride in the Phantom, the white hull with the green flash down the back. The Bride family racing team up here from Victoria. Lockie's a member of the Victorian Speedboat Club and the Victorian Outboard Club. Has come up through the junior ranks and has really settled into this F4. Eats, lives and breathes it. In fact, spends about 16 hours a week on YouTube chasing F4 footage from all across the world. Great young kid. I've had the privilege of knowing him for quite a long time as he's raced down there on the big circuit. He's starting to actually make a little bit of a gain here. Oh, Maxi Cook, that's gone wrong in the back corner. I didn't pick up what happened, whether he missed that turn boy altogether. But he may well have hooked on the exit to the turn. We saw that happen on that corner a couple of races ago. So Maxi Cook is this is his second season in this boat, and he really came on strong at the end of last season. He had his first outright race win, and he got the obligatory dunking by his fellow teammates. Was really strong in qualifying, but get him left behind a little bit here, so I wouldn't have expected that out of Max. So maybe a little bit of a change, maybe a prop selection setup difference, and just not going his way right now. But he needs to get this race finished, remembering there is two competitors that had to pull out of this big final because they unfortunately were involved in incidents on the water. Separate incidents, I should say. So Brad Beasley, his fully sick mate race team, and Tyler Gilligan in Epic Racing. But Lockie Bride, yeah, he's starting to make a little bit of a ground as the clock ticks down now. He has a habit of doing this actually. He sort of starts to really focus once he gets a little bit more comfortable in the boat after a couple of laps roll through and starts to make some good gains. But these boats have been driving absolutely beautifully. The Queen Bee machine out in front has won more races than any other F4 in this country, and being piloted right now as well as I've ever seen it. Tracy Pugsley, the owner of this boat, first brought it to the country and then raced it, I think, for 3 years herself, and pretty much was unbeatable out on the water. But she's put the boat into retirement for a little while, and now has handed the opportunity over to a young guy that's going to make a big name for himself, no doubt, in Formula Powerboat racing, in Carlin Bailey. See Janelle over there, mum to Carlin, on the working hard on the video, I think that is, underneath that sun hat out there on the dock. Darren Bride on the cans, talking to his son, Lockie Bride, boat number 80, the Phantom. MSC signs, DTG race gear, kittens, and a whole bag of sponsors on board for this young gun. His family spend a lot of time travelling around Australia, the Bride race team, supporting their kids. You'll often find Lockie and his younger sister doing their homework in the back seat of the car as they're making their way to events all around the country. So Carlin Bailey opening up a very, very nice gap on those last couple of laps. So Lockie Bride, challenge has been put to an end by Carlin. So you can see these boys starting to settle the boats a little bit more, so running it a bit flatter, so it probably indicates there's a little bit more wind out in the back part of the circuit that we can feel here in spectators in the commentary box. Of course, one of the key things when you're travelling at well over 100 kilometres an hour on the water is through these Lexan windscreens is focusing on the water ahead. You're on the lookout, and particularly in a course like this, it's not a closed course, so boats have the right to make a thoroughfare at the back of the track for potentially rollers that are being put up by cruisers going through. You're looking for wind, so disturbed patches, different coloured sections of water that in some cases you're looking for it because you want more lift, in other cases you're looking for it because if you drive into it you might end up upside down. And these three young drivers on the water making it look far too easy right now. F4, as I mentioned, a UAM category, competed all around the world. Australian drivers have had a lot of success. We've had several people go and compete on the international circuit, and it wouldn't surprise me if any of these three out here right now one day made that grade. Carlin Bailey, Queen Bee, through very nice, clock ticks down, couple more laps I think before we see the yellow. Next time round will be the yellow flag for Carlin Bailey, our lead boat. So Maxi Cook obviously losing a little bit of pace with that half hook in the back chute, but now really starting to drive this boat beautifully through turn number 4 there in front of the start finish boys. So the maxed out machine. Mum Michelle looking on, got the waders on, working super hard his mum, and You can see Martin, Dad, out there on the radios talking his son through this final race. So big bag of points for Max Cook. That's exactly what he wants out of round number 1. John Thomas signalling the yellow flag. So one more lap to go. Maddie and Beck Fowler here with me in the timing, taking studious notes. One more to go for Carlin Bailey. Lockie Bride, one more to get it home. Tyler Gilligan looking on from the boat ramp as well. He'd love to be out there, the Epic Racing Machine, but unfortunately he's busted his ride for this weekend. But the crew will get that boat prepped up and ready for round number 2 in Victoria. 4-round series for the Australian Championships. This is round number 1. Round number 2 will be held at, on the magnificent Lake Hume down there in Albury, Wodonga, on the border of Victoria and New South Wales. Round 3 will be held at the EC Griffith Australasian Championships at Yarrawonga, Mulwala, in front of a expected crowd of between 5,000 to 7,000 people. And round number 4, Weisman's Ferry, New South Wales. One more corner to go. Put your hands together for this guy. This has been an absolute drive. The Queen Bee, piloted by Carlin Bailey. It was faultless. A well-deserved win. He's been hard to beat all weekend. Keep it rolling for Lockie Bride, the young gun from Victoria, in the Phantom with a 2nd place finish. And the last boat home, but by no means least, is Max Cook in the maxed out machine of the Cook family racing. Great job for that young man.